Hey guys, how you guys doing? I'm here showing to you guys homework 2, part 2 of project 4, right? I think we're on project 4, right? So project 4 states draw a few triangles and find their incenter. So the definition of an incenter is when all three triangles bisectors intercept from each other, and then you see that little center dot, or that when all three corners of the triangle intercepts, that's your incenter. All right. Let me draw it and explain it further. All right. So let's get that started. So here we have a triangle, right? I'm gonna draw a quick little triangle. So this is just our little triangle, right? Right. We have label it so A B C, right? Triangle A B C, right? So then what we do also is we label them, right? We had to put angles because angles always make sense. So we have angles B, A, C, right? A is our center, so we have to look at our center, right? So we have to mark that, right? So then what we do, we get our ruler, our nice little ruler. Always a good suggestion when it comes to drawing triangles or when you're doing it or trying to find a in center is to use a ruler, right? So we mark it to indicate that's an angle, right? Then we do, it's just straight up mark it. Just make a line in the center, right? Because that's your bisector angle. So yeah, that's one down. Now we need to find the other ones, right? And we need to do the other two, right? So here we gotta use a different color. Let's assume this is let's do red. Then indicate another angle, right? This is gonna be our angle BCA, right? C is for this angle, right? We have to make two lines to indicate these two aren't congruent to each other. So then what we do, we got our ruler again and do the exact same thing what we did previously and just see if we can line it up. And boom, that's our line bisector, right? So if you're probably wondering why I'm drawing arrows, is because those are bisector angles, and then also these are rays. Actually, these are just straight lines. You don't know when they stop. So yeah, it's a quick little heads up. All right. So then what we do now is just the last one, right? Which is just angle. Sorry, which is just angle um A B C, right? Angle B, right? And then what we do, we go back to our nice little drawing that we have, right? Put the lines, right, to indicate that these three corners aren't congruent to each other, right? So then what we do, we line it up, make it a bisector angle, and there you go. Um, Notice that when all three of them hit like a certain point, right? That certain angle, we just make a little dot there. That is the in center, in center point. So yeah, that's when all three bisector angles lines hits intersection from each other. So that's that point. All right. We can do another example because it was you probably still need a little bit more help, but that's all right. So now let's do a couple more examples, all right? And this time we can use a ruler as our guide to draw them. All right. We get our ruler, all right? We draw, let's say, a couple of triangles, right? Let's do four as a case, right? We do start triangle one. This is one of the triangles, right? Trying to make it the thinnest triangle we've ever made. All right, that's the one. All right, let's label it as, I'm not sure. Everything can be different. So let's say this is X, this is Y, and this is Z, right? So what we do now is the same thing that we did in the example. Label this one, right? Let's go. angle y, x, z, right? Y, x, z. And then what you do now is just get your ruler, right? Mark it up. And now you just draw a straight line, right? I just draw a line to find your bisector angle. That's one of your sides. And now what you do is do the other ones, right? Angle. Now for the other one, other angle. Angle y, zx, right? Indicate two lines, indicate those are not congruent, that these two are not congruent, right? So then you repeat the exact same step again, which is just draw a straight line. And also be sure that it's very close to its center, right? And then, yeah, that's one line. That's the second line. And then finally, the last line, which is just angle x, y, and z, right? Here you do three lines straight, like this way, the corners. The corner lines indicate that these corners aren't congruent to each other. And then what you do is just set it up, right? You make again, the exact same thing that we did the other ones, right? And just draw the line straight down. And now you notice that they all intersect from that point, right? You have a different marker to indicate that. So we use a brown marker. We're going to do this. And that's the in center point. That is the in center point. That little center, that little that little dot, which all three angles bisect from each other, intersect from each other. All right. Let's do another one just in case. Just in case. Just to let's do a couple more. My bad. Let's do a couple more just to solidify this. All right. This time let's do a big one. All right. So yes, we can. We can use this. So we have a triangle, right? A nice little triangle. We have a nice little triangle here. It's bigger. Yes, yes, this is a pre-draw I did. It took me a quite while to record this video also. Noticing that when I have to draw it, person I did it with pen. It turns out pen is not useful when it comes to drawing with camera. When it comes to drawing or video recording with a camera. Then I use Sharpie, which is actually useful. So yeah. All right. Now here we labeled it, right? We labeled it as A, B, and C, right? And now what we just use what we did previously, which is just declaring angles, right? So we have angle BAC, right? We do this, right? That's one of our sides, right? One of our congruents, right? And then what we do is just make a straight line if we can. Just make a straight line. That's one of our straight lines, all right? Next one, which is the other side. Angle BCA, right? Do it here. Draw a couple lines, right? That's a couple lines to indicate that these two angles aren't congruent to each other, all right? Same thing applies. You get close to the corner and then just draw a straight line. Just draw a straight line as possibly as you can. Those are the best ways you can also. That's it. And then lastly, what we do is just find the last one, which is angle A, B, and C, right? What you do now is you get your ruler, your nice ruler, mark it up, which is three lines in the corner to indicate that they aren't congruent to each other. So what you do now is just make the bisector angle, notice a note. And once you set it up, you just draw a straight line. Draw a straight line as you possibly can. And then now you see that see that all three angles intersect from each other. Right, they all intersect, right? That, my friends, is the in-center point. Is the in-center point. Note, I am apologizing for this sort of line. Let's just make it bigger here. So I'm gonna go here. I hope you guys can see that. That is the in-center point. I hope now you guys can see that. So let's do another one by any chance. If you guys feel comfortable doing another one. I just hope, right? So now we're gonna go back to this paper, right? We have one of our triangles here. Let's do it for another one. Let's say a much more different one. All right, let's do it much more this way, right? Go back to our favorite Sharpie. Go back to our Sharpie. Make a nice little line. Try our best to make a right angle actually, because yeah, we just did. And then just do the middle. And how's it look? Hope that looks good when you guys in. All right. Oh yeah, I labeled it. So this is A, this is B, and this is C. All right. No, we do now. We just label. Just indicate some points. All right. Indicate some angles. So here again, you have an angle. Same thing. A C, right? Put corners up, and we can put this as a two, right? We put that as two, so it'll be much more interesting. So here we got. Here we just set it up. Then we just draw a line. That's our bisector angle. All right. Then we use a different color, right? Let's do red. Go red or green. Let's spice it up. Let's go with green. Okay, you guys don't want to see the exact same repetition like I use blue, red, and green. Let's try blue, green, and red. All right. So here, let's do a different angle, right? Let's go with let's go with uh BCA. All right. BCA, and then oh, let's see. Let's do this one. All right. You guys wondering like, oh, why this is probably has two and this has one. Don't worry about it. As long as you make the compare, as long as you mark it as okay, this is two, this is one. It does matter in some cases, but in most of the cases it doesn't. Like when it comes to professors acting like, oh, why this is in the bottom, this is on top. Just just admit, just say, oh, I messed up here, so I just did that way. They'll slide with it. All right. Now what you do now is just make a line, just make a straight line to indicate that's your bisector angle. Draw a nice little line, right? And then lastly, what we do is we use the red, it's the last Sharpie, we use a red Sharpie, right? Then get the last angle, which is angle, angle ABC, right? And then what we do is just mark it up here. It's like 1, 2, 3 to indicate that they're not congruent to each other. And then what you do is just line it up to find that beautiful bisector angle. And then what you do is just mark it up. And make the arrow, right? And then where we have it, oh, they intercept from that little dot, they intercept. Just mark it up. Go like, oops, that's a nice little dot there. And then there's your in center point. All right. And yeah, that's all it when it comes to drawing the few triangles. We have you have one of our triangles, right? That's one of our triangles we defined. Here's another one, right? Another one that we defined. And also we have the big boy, right? The big boy, we did it much more bigger. Um, let's see if you guys can see it. Yes, you guys can see that. So you see we have our triangle, a big triangle, right? And we use different angles, and then we defined it, right? And also we have our example here in the back, right? All right, let's see if we can do this. Can you guys see that? And anything like that. Work with it. Can you guys see that? Which we did the example of it, but then here we actually do make a better version of it. But still, yeah, just a keynote when it comes it that's your in center point, right? That dot in the center where like they all intersect from each other, right? And also a good note, label angles, right? Angles are really useful when it comes to geometry and also when it comes to everything. Um, what else? Use different colors. Yes, use different colors. Or if you don't have a different color, a huge recommendation also is when it comes to using lines also. So let's say, for example, you have like a solid line, you also have a dotted line, you also have a mild dotted line, right? It doesn't matter. But still, also go ahead, use different colors to indicate different angles, right? But still, yeah, that's all that's all the shapes that I have mentioned, like all triangles that we mentioned, right? So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and be sure to be sure to leave a comment. Yeah, just leave a comment and like the video also. So thanks guys.